This is Times Now, Super Prime Time. The Newshour Special Edition will be right back after this break.
Introduce my guest in the next section, and that's Pooja Bedi joining this panel. That's going to be in some time. We have with me in the studio, I have Parmesh, Shahani, Associate Vice President of Godrej Industries, and Pallav Patankar, who's Director of the Humsafar Trust. To my right, I have Advocate Sanjeev Pulalekar, Speaker and Advisor of the Sanatan Sanstha, who's come with some textbooks tonight of the law. He's going to teach us why the law and not religion proves that all that gays are doing is wrong. Now, we will stand him up to that test. Purushottam Mololi of the Das Foundation as well. This debate continues. But for the while, let me just say this, as I thank you all, that instead of standing up to the millions who were left completely distraught after the Supreme Court verdict, each of our politicians today took turns to dodge, duck and avoid the gay sex question. Is this indifference simply because the LGBT community does not, as of tonight, make a vote bank?
We want equal rights. We want my rights.
They are fighting to live the life they have chosen. But with the Supreme Court verdict, their fight is far from over. Now their glimmer of hope is the Parliament, which can step in to amend the laws. But will our lawmakers stand united to remove the prejudice?
A huge disappointment because in 2006 there was a letter written which was signed by Amartya Sen, Vikram Seth, Shyam Benegal. Even I signed that letter. So I'm very disappointed.
I mean, this is not a crime. This is dependent on the individual. And how can you criminalize any kind of alternate sexuality? And therefore, we believe that the Delhi High Court judgment was the correct judgment.
But are these just shallow concerns, while others are still passing the buck?
Inappropriate to react to a Supreme Court judgment off the bat. The judgment would need to be studied, it would need to be understood, it would need to be internalized, and if at all that there is something Parliament needs to do in this matter, Parliament would definitely look into it.
The Supreme Court's prerogative under the Constitution to test the constitutionality of a law. They are exercising their prerogative. We have the prerogative to make laws. We shall exercise our prerogative. Well, if Parliament runs, we shall take it up.
Some politicians, like the Home Minister, are just choosing to toe the Supreme Court's line.
See, the Supreme Court has given decision and we have to abide by that decision.
While others have completely dismissed the idea of discussing the law in Parliament.
I really do not understand, once the Supreme Court has taken a decision, then why do they want to just push it back to the Parliament? Because this is not what the political party leaders are going to sit in the Parliament and discuss. There are a lot of other issues in our country which needs to be discussed in the Parliament.
But politicians like Subramanian Swamy even voicing their opposition strongly against gay rights.
It's a malady, it's a malfunction, and we were not, the human race was not meant for this.
Forced to live a life behind the veil, their protest continues. But will their voices be heard? On the Newshour tonight, can India's Parliament recognize the fact that time has come to move on from our prejudices?
You're watching the second Newshour debate on Times Now Super Prime Time.
In this part of the debate, of course, Parmesh and Pallav are to my left. They are sitting with me in the studio. I just introduced them. Sohail Seth joins the debate. And joining Sohail as well is Sanjeev Pulalekar, and he is the advisor to the Sanatan Sanstha, which is a very if I were to say, strident Hindu organization which has strong points of view against it.
Yes.
Against gays.
Not against gays, in favor of a law which would be more powerful and which would stop abuse of...
You want to lock up all homosexuals who are having sexual relations?
No, we never said that. In fact, when the Delhi High Court judgment came, we were very disappointed.
Are you for 377 or against it?
We are for 377 with certain changes in it, so as to punish the real perpetrators and to make it more stringent for them.
More stringent?
More stringent
you
for
think
those
it's
who
not
are...
stringent enough?
This law is such that today what outcries we are hearing is from the people we feel they are the victims of some of the wrongdoers, and the wrongdoers are let off.
No,
we feel that the numbers have increased and the campaign has increased because today what we are discussing is...
Do you think it's a crime to be a homosexual, having homosexual relationships among or homosexual tendencies? Is there anything wrong with it? Just don't couch. If you're going to be direct, be direct. If you want to be indirect and hide behind the law, you say I will hide behind
There are two propositions which the religious organizations, particularly of the Hindu denomination, because we heard the father, we heard Kamal Farooqi. Two denominations which we have been clearly propagating is one, that homosexuality is something which may exist but which is not normal. First, let me come to the next point, that we are of the opinion that there is a lot of hallabol on all this and in modern days because there is a clear abuse of children and there is materialism is increasing. That's why
this is not, don't mix it with pedophilia, please. I'd like to get a response on this. The link that is being drawn here with pedophilia. I mean, this is what are you trying to do here? That's a completely different thing. Pallav, you can answer him directly. By the way, one second. By the way, I also want to welcome Dr. Ibrahim Matai joining the debate. Purushottam Muloli is a social activist who fought against the NAS Foundation, and Rahul Ishwar stays on. Sohail, before I come to you, yes, please, you want to object.
Pedophilia is pedophilia, and pedophilia is a crime, and pedophilia is non-consensual. It is not the consenting person. So let us be very clear when we are talking about a crime and when we are talking about my natural expression and the fact that my orientation is as natural as your heterosexuality is to you.
What about inducing? I'm not on that. You are telling about a consent.
How does one induce somebody to be homosexual?
No. Question to you.
There is nothing like induction.
Answer it.
There is nothing like conversion.
Yes, there is. Because
no, there is not.
Because
there is not. If there is something like conversion,
I have seen the victims.
If there is something like conversion, then probably we need to redefine sexuality.
That the people who induce them are sitting in their drawing halls and watching it with
their
children and grandchildren.
We are not talking about electromagnetic theories here, about induction.
So here's the point. I just wanted to what he's saying here today, Sanjay Punalekar, is he's saying induction. So by that he means that there are homosexuals who are going around, converting.
I'm talking about bisexuals. I'm talking about bisexuals. Those who are trying to do and they are enjoying their own life. I'm on that. I am for more punishment for them.
Okay, one second. He's laughing out here. Parmesh. Sohail wants to respond. Sohail, you want to say something to Sanjay Punalekar here today, who's using you also want to respond to him? Okay, go ahead. Sohail first.
After sir. No, I just worry for the Sanatan Dharma. If representatives like him are allowed loose in public to express an illogical argument and guise it in the form of religiosity, there are only three basic arguments on today's Supreme Court judgment. Number one, the dignity of every Indian is sacrosanct regardless of what that individual's private sexual preferences are. Number two, the Supreme Court has given and has dealt a deathly blow to millions of people who believed that they lived in a country that was free, that was liberal, that was marching towards a new destiny, a new horizon. And the third, I believe that Parliament will be wimpish, will hide behind the cloak of the Supreme Court's diktats.
That's what they've done.
That's what they've done. This Parliament is going to do something, you have another thing coming. The reality is, we have seen the best form of passing the pillow today. And the tragedy is, Indians will be sleepless when they are confronted with a Supreme Court that is out of sync with today's Indian, with today's times, and with what people expect of the Honorable Supreme Court. Today the LGBT community hasn't been let down. India, the idea of India and India as a nation state is not only crestfallen, has been let down admirably by some two gentlemen who we thought would use the sanctity of judgment, something that B.R. Ambedkar wrote in the Constitution, that dignity is a guaranteed right. It is not a bestowed right. The Delhi High Court issued a superb judgment. the Supreme Court has shown that with the passage of time, India won't progress. We will regress.
Sohail,
it's not about religion.
What's going to happen
now?
now?
What Father Dominic said.
No, what's going to happen now? The worrisome thing is when it goes into the arena of politics. We all know what's going to happen. There will be no law.
No one's going to take a stand.
There will be no law. I can challenge you tonight.
Take a stand against,
there will be no law.
You think?
And I heard Abhishek Manu Singh
stand
say
against the stupid utterances of Baba Ramdev?
No,
do you think they'll take a stand against Baba Ramdev? Do you think the BJP will come out and say that we do not agree with the Sanatan, that we do not agree with the RSS? Do you think the Congress, which never speaks, will at least find its voice for those millions of people that it also represents? Don't pin your hopes on Parliament or not. It's better to pin your hopes on a moral recasting of India's aspirations rather than on Parliament.
No, one second. I think what's happening here is that Parliament will do nothing. Because Parliament is worried about upsetting, they think we'll upset the Christian community, then they'll think we'll upset the Hindu community, then they'll think we'll upset the Muslim community. And in the process they will waffle and they will do nothing. There was one opportunity of changing in the arena of law, and unfortunately tonight we have lost that. And the Supreme Court, by passing the buck, has forever condemned the gay, lesbian, bisexual and transgender community of this country to living their life in the closet, which is unfortunate, most unfortunate. But I think change will come if people go onto the streets on this. Yes, please go ahead, Parmesh.
So Arnab, it's a dark day, but I don't share the same doom and gloom, because there are changes that are happening all around us which the Supreme Court has not noticed. For example, I work in corporate India. I work at a company like Godrej, which is very LGBT friendly. We have HR policies that are LGBT friendly. You go to any college across this country, you will find young people for whom it doesn't matter. They have gay friends, they have lesbian friends, they have straight friends. It's not an issue. It's an orientation. It doesn't define them. And since everyone talks about families, why is it that families are only the jagir of straight people? Gay people have families too. Gay people have parents, gay people have brothers, gay people have sisters. Families are part of our lives as well.
That's true.
We live in families.
Yes, you do.
So many gay people. You had Jerry, you had a gay couple before. We make our own families. Families are as much a part of our lives.
No, he's saying that you go around converting people into homosexuality, and the reason is, that's why he says
orientation. If it should be so easy. Straight people should be able to convert homosexual into straightness. No, it doesn't happen.
What are you trying to create? This whole fear that there are these group of people who are completely perverted, who have the wrong views on what the natural order of the world should be, and who go around as part of a conspiracy looking for people to turn into homosexuals. I mean, it seems like a bad thriller. Dr. Abraham Mathai, president of Indian Christian Voice, even he will accept. It's some terrible B-grade thriller script which is being written in the way you're describing homosexuals. Which side are you on, for Dr. Abraham Mathai?
Actually, Arnab, I am totally against this 377. It has to be scrapped because it is a violation of a person's human right, because whatever happens in the privacy with two consenting adults cannot be termed as a crime. Therefore, it's not criminal. What is morally not right is not criminal by any stretch of imagination. I want to give an example, Arnab. Suppose two consulting adults, husband and wife, two couples, husband and wife, if they swap their couples, they swap their spouses, which is right now in a kind of fashion in certain societies, is that a crime? But it's morally not right. But it's not going to be told that is going to be criminal.
No, but
therefore, what will the court do at that point of time?
Now, what is the relevance of that example? I am not understanding.